Well, summer is coming to an end. My favorite season at the Jersey Shore here. And this is the time where I get a lot of requests and inquiries from clients who are considering or looking into buying that second home. And there's certainly pros and cons to it on many levels. And being someone who's seen a lot of people in this situation, am in this situation, I figured it'd be helpful to talk through both the pros and cons. Today, however, I'm going to focus on the cons of owning that second home. So let's start with cost. Clearly, owning a second home comes with costs. Everyone knows that. And I'm not talking about the extra mortgage or taxes because that's simple. And most people, quite frankly, account for that. They say, hey, Andrew, I can afford $2,000 extra a month. I have $2,000 free cash flow. And that's fine and dandy and obviously needs to be taken into consideration. But the reality is, it's the death by 1,000 cuts when owning a second home. It's 2 water bills. It's 2 sets of silverware you have to purchase. 2 hot water heaters that go bad, and roofs and fridges, and it's just twice as much maintenance. And these costs that you don't consider or plan for come up twice as often, and maybe even a little more because you have a home that's, for the most part, not being utilized a good portion of the year and has its wears and tears from unused appliances and technologies and what have you in a home. And so the cost, I always tell people, plan conservatively. So that's the first big negative that, of course, jumps off the board. Next, it's an obligation. It's an obligation owning a second home. You're deciding, do you stay home for the weekend or go to your Pocono house in the winter? And you're just feeling tired or lazy. Well, after a while, it weighs on people. Well, I'm not using it enough. We're paying all this money. It's costing us thousands of dollars a month. And why? We're not using it. And so you may feel obligated to go there or go there versus doing something else that you would have rather be doing. And so this obligation, I've seen a lot of people own a second home and then get rid of it because they didn't want the headache of or sort of this albatross around their neck of, I have to always get to this place to feel I'm justified in purchasing it. I even know a couple who sold their beach home and goes and rents in Cape May whenever they want in the nicest place because it's cheaper than what it was to own a home. Next is upkeep. Clearly, it's not cheap, as we discussed, but it also comes with, it's 2 lawns to mow, it's 2 walls to paint, it's 2 homes to clean and winterize or summerize. It's a lot of upkeep. And so you have to, it's a labor of love. You have to enjoy it, or at least be okay with all the extra upkeep that comes with a second home. So if you're tired of doing chores in your primary home, get used to it. You're going to have to do it here as well. Opportunity cost, I think, is a really interesting one. So the opportunity cost of owning a second home. So yes, there's a financial component, right? If it costs you $100,000 down payment, what could you be doing with those dollars? But it also comes in your most valuable resource, your time, which is, you're going to feel that your time should be spent at the second home when you could be using these dollars to go take the family on a Europe trip or a cruise to Alaska or other things that you could do with these dollars. Fix up your primary home, send your kids to overnight camp, pay for college. I mean, dollars are fungible and they can only be used so many ways. And so if you're spending your discretionary dollars on second home, just think what you're not going to be able to spend those dollars on. I think that's a really critical thing to think through, and not enough people do. The last is usage. So I see a lot of people buy second homes and boats, but let's talk about second homes, and they simply don't use it. it's used a couple weekends here and there and ends up sitting fairly vacant and stale for 11 and a half months a year. And it comes with a big cost and a big expense and obligations and opportunity costs. And if you aren't actually going to use it, and I always recommend renting for a season or two before you go purchase, but you have to use these homes. Otherwise, quite frankly, they're definitely not worth it. So those are the negatives. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but next week we'll focus on the positives. So hope you enjoyed it. Read the blog, share with your friends. As always, I'm Andrew Rosen, President of Diversified. Stay wealthy, stay healthy, and stay happy.